A Lego game, a children's Lego game, is asking you for an RTX 4070 just to play at 4K. Let that sink in for a second. The same GPU tier that runs Cyberpunk 2077 at ultra settings. For a game made of plastic bricks, today we are going to deep on every single PC requirement for Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you are going to be genuinely shocked at what TT Games is asking you from your machine. Before we go spec by spec, let me explain why this game looks so demanding. Legacy of the Dark Knight isn't your typical Lego title. This is full open world Gotham City, rebuilt from scratch in Unreal Engine 5. Ray tracing, nanite geometry, it looks incredible, but it comes at a cost. And that cost is your GPU crying in the corner. With that in mind, let's go through every requirement starting from the top. First up, operating system. And it right away, before we even talk about a single piece of hardware, Windows 10 users are already locked out. All three tiers, minimum, recommended, and 4K, requires Windows 11. No exceptions. If you're still on Windows 10, the upgrade is still free for the most of the people. Do it now, not when launch day crashes your game. Okay, CPUs. At minimum, you need an Intel Core i5 10600K or AMD Ryzen 5 1600. Recommended jumps to an i7 12700 or Ryzen 7 5800X. Solid mid-range chips, still widely used in 206 is nothing crazy here. But 4K, they want an Intel Core i7 14700K or AMD Ryzen 7 9700X. The 9700X is a Zen 5 chip from late 2024. This is current gen high-end hardware. So if you bought a budget PC 2 years ago thinking it was future-proof for 4K gaming on this title, it's already not enough. The CPU ladder here is steep. RAM. This one has a twist. Minimum and recommended both ask for 16 GB. This game will not run well. But the 4K tier asks for 24 GB, which sounds fine until you realize most motherboards run dual channel in 8s or 16s. 4GB means you would either run 16 plus 8, which breaks dual channel, or buy a special 24 GB kit. My honest recommendation, if you're going 4K on this game, just go to 32 GB. It's barely more expensive and it's cleaner. Alright, this is the section the title is about, graphics card. And oh boy, is this a story? At minimum, you need GTX 9060 with 4GB VRAM. That card is from 2015. AMD side has the RX 6400, and interestingly, Intel's Arc 580 is also listed, but it requires 8GB VRAM at minimum, double the Nvidia option. That tells you Arc is still more headroom to perform. Recommended ask for RTX 2070 Super with 8GB or AMD RX 6650 XT or Intel Arc B580 at 12GB. The 580 is a genuinely impressive value GPU, so if you are on a budget and want 1440p at 60 fps, that card is still worth at looking at. And then we hit 4K, RTX 4070 with 12GB VRAM or AMD's brand new RX 9070 XT with 16GB. Let me put this in perspective. The RTX 4070 currently costs around $700 for a Lego game to play at 4K. And even then, as I will explain in a moment, it is not even native 4K. So title of this video, yeah, it is not clickbait. This game genuinely asks for more high-end hardware than most AAA shooters. Here's what the spec sheet doesn't put in big bold letters. Every single tier requires upscaling to hit its performance target. Minimum runs 1080p at 30 fps, but with FSR or XeSS balance, plus frame generation enabled. Without those, your GTX 9060 is a slideshow. Recommended hits 1440p at 60 fps, but only with quality upscaling and frame generation on. And 4K tier, that's upscaled 4K. The game is rendering internally at around 1440p, and the AI is filling in the rest. You are not getting true 4K pixels from an RTX 4070 on this game. Now, it is bad? Not necessarily. DLSS quality mode looks fantastic and most people genuinely can't tell about the difference on a normal screen from normal view distance. Frame generation adds smoothness, but you should know what you're getting. And if you want native 4K at no upscaling, you're probably looking at an RTX 4090 territory or RTX 5090, and that's completely different price conversation. Storage is a quick but important. SSD requires SSD is not even listed as an option, and you need 50 GB of free space. For a reference, older Lego games were 10 to 20 GB. 50 GB tells us this is a much bigger, richer game world. Probably high-res texture packs and uncompressed multilingual audio. If you're running out of SSD space, and honestly, who isn't in 2026, clear some room before launch day. Nothing ruins a day one experience like a storage error during install. So, final verdict. Can your PC run Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight? Here's the 3-second check. You need Windows 11. If you don't have it, start there. You need at least 16 GB of RAM and an SSD. And your GPU needs to be at least GTX 9060 or RX 6400 level for minimum 1080p 30 fps. For 1440p 60 fps, RTX 2070 Super or RX 6650 XT, and for 4K, RTX 4070 or RX 9070 XT. Knowing it's upscaled, see the CPU and RAM requirements are forgiving. The GPU wall is real, and Windows 11 is non-negotiable. That's every spec broken down. Drop a comment below telling me your GPU and whether you're making the cut for launch day. I did every single one. If this helps you out, a like takes 2 seconds and it generally helps this video to reach more people. Subscribe if you want my day 1 performance review the moment the game drops, May 22nd.